Okay, so we're going to call this Take Two. Woohoo! All right. We're going to call this Take Two because I just filmed the entire half of this fucking thing. Sorry, I'm spinning around looking for my frame here. We're going to call this Take Two because I just spent the last 20 minutes talking to myself with the camera facing that way. And it took me a second to go, wait a minute, am I filming this the right way? I wasn't even paying attention. Very effectively, kind of make sure where my eye line was and all that kind of stuff. So technically, I just talked to you from the back side of the camera and the audio for the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay, so let me see if I can streamline this. It's the morning of the 19th, little after, not on the Pacific coast, but in Central and definitely, Atlantic, it's the 19th. But anyway, so here's what I was talking about. What I was talking about really was accountability, but I'm calling it waking up on the good side or going to bed on the good side. Because here's the thing. So it's comparing it to things like, so for example, I made a goal to drink a gallon, 160 ounces of water per day for over the last 20 days or 18 days. I haven't accomplished that goal. So 320 ounces times, let's see, so that's 18. So 320 times 9, 320 times 9 is 27. So 2,880 ounces that I have not consumed for the last 18 days. That's, the better part of, let's see, basically 32 ounces per day times 18 is 4.5. So let's say I should have now consumed, if I was consistent, essentially 22 and a half gallons of water leading into today, which is a huge amount of water. Now, I did drink some water, but the problem is I didn't drink the exact amount. So unless I have a documented amount of how much I did drink on those other days, which I don't, then I can't go, okay, well, I need to make up this amount of water. So effectively, I have to make up all of those days. And I'm getting to a pattern with this. So follow me if you're watching this and at all curious. So that means to make sure I did drink that amount of water, I have to, for each one of those days, I have to make up that 160 ounces of water, okay? So if I have to make up that 160 ounces of water, then I have to start adding it a little bit each day to the days coming up to make sure that I can accomplish that goal. It goes the same with, and it just makes the other goal days harder. I guess that was what I was going to say next. It makes the other goal days harder because then I say, oh God, I have to add this much to make sure that I can make up for it, right? So now I'm talking about making the next days more intimidating because I know I have more to accomplish. And what happens to us as people, not everybody, but a large amount of the population, what happens is when you make the goals for the next day harder, it makes it harder. It makes it easier to find distractions and to just let them go. I'm also talking about when it comes to like doing this video, I'm referring to it as though I've already recorded a video on this, but I did. It's just I can't show it to you because it's shooting a wall. But anyways, it's just like doing these videos. I promised myself I would do one a day, right? I'm sorry, I still have the allergy issue. Where the heck did my little anything go? It's just like with the allergy issues that I have, or the videos that I do. I promised myself I would do one a day for every day of the year for 365 days. Well, if I let one go and I say, well, I still got to catch up, then I have to do 2 one day. And then if I have to do 2 one day, then I'm going to intimidate myself and eventually get to a point where if I don't do 2 for 2 days in a row, then what happens? I've got this snapping thing going. then what happens is that then I go, okay, I'm going to do 2, or I'm going to make up 3, which means I have to do 2 this day and 2 tomorrow. Excuse me. And as a human being, unless we're seriously motivated, we find ways of distracting ourselves from it. And then what happens is 3 days, 2 days, missing 2 days of videos. Then I miss 3 days, then I miss 4 days. And then I'm like, oh, I have to make 2 videos per day for this amount of period of time. And eventually my brain will find ways of distracting me because it's like, oh, it's too intimidating, or, it's not as important to me. Is it really that significant? And it is significant to me because whether it's, strangers on the internet watching it and potentially getting something from it, or my family reflecting on it, if God forbid something happens to me on one of those days after I've shot, I've got a daily catalog, and they know essentially what's been going on in my life up to the 24 hours before before whatever events unfurled. So, they don't mean to be dark, but let's just say I shoot this video and tomorrow I walk out and I'm walking my dogs and a truck doesn't see me, or I don't see a truck and I get hit by a truck. Okay, and something happens to me and I, of course, don't make it. I'm not trying to be macabre or dark here. I'm just saying that making these videos has a multi-part aspect to it, because then my family knows where I was up to the point of about 24 hours before this event occurred that altered my, or ended my path in the physical plane of existence. So goals are very important, and meeting those goals every day is very important. So like I'm 18 days behind on drinking water, the 160 ounces of water per day. So now, if I want to make that up, let's just say I wanted to make that up, I have to add, I'm just thinking roughly, okay, roughly 5 times 18 is, what is that? 5 times 18 is 50, is 90. So over the next 90 days, to make up for the first 18 days that I didn't drink water, for the next 90 days, I have to add 32 ounces of water extra to my drinking water schedule. So do you see what I mean? It's now, instead of 160 ounces I have to accomplish a day, I have to accomplish 192 extra per day. And I have to accomplish it over more days, because I can't drink 2 gallons of water a day, because that's actually not even healthy to drink that much water, because you can technically drown yourself by drinking too much water. So I have to, and I'm talking, that's intimidating, to drink 192 ounces of water a day, and I have to do it for 90 days on, for a full 90 days before I could drop back down to the 160 again. So for 18 days of missing, I have to punish myself for another 90 days, or I have to, punish is the wrong choice of words, but I have to adjust my other schedule so I can accomplish that goal. Now, what does that tell you? It just tells you that if I had, what is going on here with this? I'm sorry, guys. I know it's irritating to watch, but where the heck did I put that? So I have the dust really gets to me. So, and I have a lot of dust coming in because I went to the storage unit today to get these containers, and I've been trying to clean them. That was one of the things I didn't get fully accomplished when I got back. So anyways, sorry about the noise there. I got trash in my pocket. I have a Scotty vest, and every time I find trash on the floor, I pick it up and put it in my pocket. So my point in saying all this is that set a goal and make sure that you follow the process of a goal. Write it down if you need to. There's so many examples I can use in my life that I'm learning every day about how important it is to go to bed and have those goals accomplished. Because if you don't, what it causes is you to have to, if you want to accomplish those goals, you have to add more to the process of accomplishing those goals every day. And eventually it can become a stressful point where you're like, you know what, your brain even if you don't intentionally say, you know what, forget it, I'm not going to do it, your brain finds ways of distracting you because it feels like it's overwhelmed by what it has to accomplish. So Here's another example. 42 days. In the last attempt I did, I found out that it's 42 days before the move. So 42 days. So if I can accomplish all the packing and stuff in 40 days, in 42 days, then it's great. The morning of, the movers will come. They will. I'm going to make sure I'm going to make sure I'm still on camera. If I can see, but I have a little bit of I have a side issue, as you can tell. At least I know I'm still filming myself. Anyway, and not the wall. But anyways, so I have 42 days before the move. If I can pack and get everything ready, then the amount of money I have to spend on the day of the move is less. So they figured about 8 to 9 hours for my move, right? Over there at the moving company I'm using. But but if I can be ready, the more I can be ready, so that when they come in, they go in, they grab stuff, they move it out, they put it in the truck, and then they're done. That's better, because otherwise my move could take 10 hours or something like that, right? If I'm not ready. Or I have a bunch of stuff left here that I have to come back and get again. And if I have to come back and get it again, I've got to hire movers to move that stuff. And it becomes a spiral effect and a stressful situation, because I'm not going to be done in the time I need to be done. So it's like, don't add that pressure to yourself. I'm talking to myself as much as I'm sharing it with you. Don't add that pressure to yourself. Be ready. You know, the day before, the night before, they're supposed to be here. I should not be up at 2 or 3 in the morning, running crazy, being insane, waiting, for them to arrive. That's just not how it should be. I should be organized. I should be ready. And then I wake up the morning of, I've got the energy, and I can say, okay, so we're going to go here, and you're going to go get this stuff. And they'll probably take an hour to get all that stuff, or maybe an hour and a half. They get back over here, they grab the things here, and maybe I get it all accomplished in 8 hours, maybe less. The more organized I am, the better off I am. And if I don't have to come back for anything, I'm so much better off. We all are. And I know it becomes intimidating when you look at all the stuff you have to do. And then if you don't get it all accomplished, you start making these deals with yourself where you're like, okay, wait a second. Okay, I'm really far behind, but I can accomplish this in an hour, and then I accomplish this in an hour, and I'll be ready. But it never takes as little an amount of time as you think you are, unless you're super organized. And if you're super organized, you're already ready to go. You don't have to make those deals with yourself, because you already know, well, you may make those deals with yourself, but it's under a realistic guideline because you've done it before. If you haven't packed a move before in the exact same situation, and I mean literally the exact same situation, then whatever you make as your little timeline could be wrong, because you aren't in the same situation as when you originally made that idea before. I hope that makes sense. But my point is that go to bed on the good side. Make sure you get things accomplished that really move you towards those goals, and don't let delay stack you up, or distraction stack you up to where the next days following have to be more stressful because you didn't accomplish the things the day before that you needed to, in that moving that process forward, right? So another last example I'll use is, we have the refrigerator freezer, and then we have the stand-up freezer, right? And both of those things have food in them. Now, we use it or we lose it, or we have to pack it up and take it over there to the new apartment. And then what happens? We put it back in the freezer, we let it sit there, just like we've done here. We need to use it, because otherwise we're just carrying the same stuff that we haven't used to a new place to not use. That's not realistic. And what am I going to do? Hold on to this stuff until the last day before we have to move, and then take it all that freezer? Because I have to thaw out the freezer before we move. I can't just say, oh, here's a freezer with a bunch of ice and garbage in it. Could you go ahead and move that for me? That doesn't make any sense. We have to use it and then get rid of it, so it's less for us to carry with us. And we don't carry the same thing over there and just start not doing with it anything again. It's just like storage. If you're not going to plan on using this stuff, why are you keeping it? what is the point of keeping all of it if you're not going to use it? What was the intention of buying it and wasting the money on it, wasting your resources on it, whether it was money or labor, however you what about your time is your money. So whatever you labored to do it, whether it be the cash you spent from doing other labor or whatever, what was it worth if you're not going to use it? What is the point of it? So those are examples for me. I hope you can find examples in your own life. I've always been encouraged to write it down. Write it down because then it becomes real, right? And I'm hesitant to say the writing down part, and the only reason I'm hesitant to say the writing down part is because this is what I've heard, and maybe I've misunderstood what they're saying, but excuse me, something in my eye there, is that when you write it down, it becomes real. But they have encouraged you to write it down by hand, not by typing into a computer, because they're talking about the connection to your brain. Like when you write it down and your hand is committed to the gesture of writing things, that your brain remembers it more. That's how some people memorize like dialogue or things that they're going to have to memorize to present or whatever. They write it over and over again. And it's the process of engagement from their hand to their brain that kind of freezes that information into their head, and then that way they remember it better. That just by writing it over and over and over again, it becomes ingrained into their brain. What you doing, buddy? What you doing, buddy? So, anyways, if you can write it down, then great. I can't write it down. I have to use a computer, and I don't mind doing that. But write it down every day in some way, and then maybe review it every day is the best thing you can do. If you can't write it every day by hand, then look on your computer and look at it every day and adjust it every day, and really try to set goals for yourself and things you know you can accomplish. Maybe in 42 days I can't be ready, and I'm not saying that I cannot be. I'm not trying to be the negative, but I'm saying if I write down the schedule and I figure out, well, okay, I cannot be ready in 42 days, then at least I know what I can accomplish within 42 days if I put my goal to it, right? So that's what I've got to put it by. I've got to create an accomplishment list to know, because it's not just moving, right? It's not just the process of packing. I've got to contact my creditors, the ones who I have credit from. I've got to contact my bank. I've got to contact, other contacts, utilities, all that stuff, to transfer that stuff and move it to another location. Update my addresses on places that I receive products from. I have to change those addresses. And so it's not just the process of packing this apartment and cleaning it or whatever else. It's all the other things that are involved with it. And once again, is it possible that I cannot accomplish all this in 42 days? The answer is yes, it's possible. Do I think I can? Yes. If I put the energy and the effort and the time and the perspective into it that's necessary to really say, okay, well, this has to be done this day, then I can definitely be ready in 42 days and still accomplish other things. But it's about not letting those delays happen to where I'm stacking more stuff to do on the next day because I didn't accomplish it on the previous day. Just like with the water, just like with doing videos, just like with any number of things we can look at in our lives. So just think about that and set good goals for yourself. Don't overset goals for yourself. And what I mean is, don't make something so intimidating that you can't accomplish it. The water thing, I could accomplish 160 ounces a day. Am I going to accomplish 192 ounces per day? I'm not sure. I really am not. If I start today with the water, I'm sure I could accomplish 160 ounces per day. And it comes down to, do I feel like I can add that 32 ounces each day for 90 days and continue that pattern? The answer is, I'm not really sure that I can. But at least if I start on the goal today, then if I get to the end of 365 and I've consumed all but 18 days worth of that goal of water, at least I've accomplished those 100 and what is it, 347 days. So maybe I didn't get 365, but I got 347, and that's not bad. That is not bad. That is a good, I would call that successful at that point. Is it 100% successful? Nope. It's more like, I don't know, computer, what is 347 divided by 365?
347 divided by 365 is approximately 0.9507.
So it's 95%. I accomplished 95% of my goal. That's a good A. But if I don't do it for the next, let's say I don't do it, I keep pushing off the accomplishing of the goal of the water, and I push it off, let's just say, even down to another week, so 25 days. So, oh no, let's say I'm making a full weeks, 28 days. Let's say that I wait 10 more days to get started. Computer, hang on, never mind computer. Let's see, 28 from 65. Computer, stop. 28 is 365, 340. 338. No, that's not 338. 327. 327. Yeah. Computer, what is 320? Computer, stop. Computer, what is 337 divided by 365?
337 divided by 365 is approximately 0.9233.
So now it's down to 92 and a little less than 92.5%. So then I go from accomplishing on a high level at 95%, and now I'm down to a low A at 92.5, a little under 92.5%. So it's about the quality of the accomplishment. Just don't let things get behind. Talking to myself as much as I am to anybody who might be watching this. Every day, have a goal set in mind. I got to get this accomplished today, and then get it accomplished. And then the more you have that in your mindset, then the more you're likely to get it done, because you're like, I know what I have to get done. It's this to this, right? So work on that, and be back tomorrow. God bless. Find some joy in your life. Make sure you take moments to laugh and smile and hug, and enjoy time with people you care about. Remember, these days will never come again. They will never come again, and every one of them is as unique as a grain of sand. Your life, the days of your life, are a grain of sand in the beach of existence. And enjoy it, and remember to smile. Remember to find the beauty in it. Enjoy beautiful puppies like those over there. Like those over there. Those beautiful puppies. There's one of them right there. There's the armadillos. And there's the Simba. There's the Simba laying right beside Daddy, being as loyal as he always is. There's Bear. He's got his ball. Bear's got his ball. Bear's got his ball. Watch it. Wow. Bear put his ball. He's such a happy boy. All right, God bless you. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. Good things done. See you later.